Alright, hello and welcome. My name is Bjorn. Thank you for joining me today. And today we're going to be looking at the new 3 archetypes for the Fighter, Rogue, and Wizard of Psionic variants. They are all pretty cool. In order from what I like is probably the Wizard, then the Rogue, then the Fighter. But we're going to start off with the Rogue today. The reason for that is I can see a lot of people liking this one. It has very much a Psylocke feel from, I think she's from Marvel. She's like a mutant, but yeah, this is a really these are some cool archetypes here. We'll start off with the Rogue because I feel like there's a lot of potential with this one, and also there's maybe a bit of it could be maybe considered overpowered in certain cases, and we'll go over those once we get to them. But anyways, for the Rogue archetype, we are a Soulknife. A Soulknife possesses powerful psionic potential. They channel their reservoir of inner magic into tangible blades of psychic energy, striking at their victims' minds. They find easy employment as members of thieves' guilds, being particularly sought out after assassins, since their signature psychic blades leave behind no visible wounds. As a Soulknife, your psychic psionic abilities might have haunted you since you were a child, only revealing their potential when your psychic knives first appeared, or you might have sought out a reclusive order of psionic assassins and spent years learning how to manifest your deadly blades. So I really like that. There's some easy lore introduction into how this character came to be. It fits narratively well within any world, because thieves guilds and assassins seek them out. Maybe there's an assassination order akin to how the Jedi work, where they take children from a young age that they can see have certain potential, and they steal them away and raise them up to be fully dedicated to that order. That'd be very dark, but hey, whatever. So maybe you could be part of that order. That'd be really cool. I think I'm gonna definitely have to make something like that now in my own campaign setting. But yeah, the Soulknife, very cool. Again, Psylocke with double blades. The psychic blades. We'll start here, obviously. As a bonus action, you can create a magical blade of shimmering psychic power from one or both of your hands. While one of your hands is manifesting a blade, you can't hold anything in that hand. You can dismiss one or both blades anytime, no action required, and they disappear if you're incapacitated. The blade is a simple melee weapon with the finesse, light, and thrown properties. It has a normal range of 30 and a long range of 60 feet. It deals 1d6 psychic damage on a hit. If you throw the blade as part of an attack, it vanishes immediately after it hits or misses its target. The blade otherwise disappears the instant it leaves your hand. So, this is why you should probably always manifest 2 blades if you can. If you ever have a need to throw one blade, you'll at least have one blade to work with afterwards, in which you can keep for melee or a subsequent turn. But the main reason why I say 2 and hold on to 1 is because it requires a bonus action to summon this, and that's going to eat up into your future bonus actions as you're trying to hide and gain advantage for a sneak attack or any number of other things with a dash or whatever, and you don't want summoning your psychic blades to always be your bonus action. Maybe play it a bit conservatively, but I mean, it's whatever really in the end. But the 1d6 psychic damage, I really like that. So it's equivalent to a short sword. Yeah, that's cool. The one thing I will say with this, the one thing that interests me quite a bit is, does this convert your sneak attack damage into psychic damage? Because I believe that, for example, like if we were to use a short sword, that would be slashing damage in our case for our sneak attack damage. So, like, we would have 5d6 worth of slashing damage. But with this, does that convert the sneak attack damage into the psychic damage as well? I think it does. At least how I would rule it, it would. Because it's psychic. There's no, again, it's remarking how there's no physical mark. It doesn't make sense that it would all of a sudden add slashing damage. And the reason why that's important is because of, say, barbarians or other things that negate taking physical damage from other sources. Like, this can bypass a lot of a lot of people, especially as I was mentioning, the barbarian, the totem war barbarian with the bear totem. Like, that's their one weakness. It's like their one weakness. They're fucked. This is like a hard counter to it, and I love that. But gosh, like I love the implications that it does. Your sneak attack does change, in fact, into the psychic damage, and I think it would. Again, just based off on how it is written here with describing the Soulknife as nothing leaving a mark, it has to be psychic damage. You can focus your psionic... Okay, so for the third thing, before I jump ahead of myself here, psionic enhancement. As well, at third level, we're going to be able to focus our psionic powers to give ourselves extraordinary ability. When you finish a long rest, you gain one of the following benefits of your choice, which lasts until you finish a long rest. So, this is something you pick at the beginning of your day. I like this because there's a running theme throughout all the archetypes here, where it amplifies yourself in some minor capacity. It makes it so you can communicate telepathically. Imagine if I can communicate properly. And then it also, like, there's also some telekinesis. There's other things. It very much focuses on what would generically be considered a psionic, but I really like that because it hasn't been much within D&D besides maybe the old god kind of patron. So I really like this a lot. But anyways, our first one, we can communicate telepathically with any creature we can see within 30 feet of us. If a creature can speak at least one language, it can respond to you telepathically. So this is, again, akin to the old god patron. This is a Khalasar ability. Communication between parties without someone knowing, especially in social encounters and anything like that. This is very, very, very valuable. There's no sign that you're talking to somebody else. I mean, unless you roleplay it out that you received a message or something like that. But this is very cool. This is spreading of information to your group, which can be invaluable, especially when you can't be speaking to one another, or to hide information. Anyways, the next one. Increase your walking speed by 5 feet. Pretty straightforward. 5 feet, it doesn't seem like much. Maybe 10 feet would be okay. I think 10 feet would be a bit more competitive with the telepathy there, because like 5 feet is very powerful, no doubt, 100% very powerful. That's like, if you go with the athlete, that's 5 more feet of climbing, right? So like it's hard for me to say that that's too little, but I feel like if that were to be increased to 10 feet, it would be okay as well. Anyways, for the next one, your hit point maximum and your current hit points increase by amount equal to your intelligence modifier plus your rogue level. So this is a nice little boost to everything. Assuming you have a +5 to intelligence and you're level 3, that's a +8 to your maximum hit points right there. That's a hit that you may not have survived. Like that's significant, especially if you happen to be the only melee character in your group, which has happened. So it would make sense that this character would have at least some ability to survive a little bit longer. At later levels, I mean, it's only going to be maybe up to 25 hit points, but that's still 25 hit points that you otherwise didn't have. And I like that. I would maybe like to see a couple more for the enhancements here, but I feel like 3 is sufficient. Maybe if we go too far, it'd be too much. I might homebrew a few things for people, or if they come up with something. It could also be cool that with the psionic enhancement, with like homebrewing it, maybe your player's like, okay, I need to focus my abilities to enhance a certain aspect of myself, and through meditation and better understanding of yourself, or something, whatever, however you want to roleplay it out, they're able to achieve that, and then they're going to be able to give themselves another psionic enhancement. I really like that. It opens up a lot of little buffs that the player character could feel like they can actually go out and seek themselves and work towards. It gives a little side plot, a little side story for that player to like progress a little bit more, and also that gives the dungeon master more that they can do with the player. So number 9, level 9, Terrifying Blade. Your psychic blades now stoke terror within a target. When you damage a creature with your psychic blade, you can force the target to make a wisdom saving throw, DC equals 8, plus your proficiency bonus, plus your intelligence modifier. On a failed save, the creature is frightened of you. Until the start of your next turn, on a successful save, the creature isn't frightened and is immune to your Terrifying Blade for 24 hours. This is pretty nice, especially if you're playing that more of a tanky role, or the melee character that's going to be getting in the thick of it. This is going to give you an advantage so that they probably don't hit you. Frighten's a pretty good effect. It feels balanced. It doesn't feel overpowered. It feels appropriate for a 9th level ability. It doesn't feel like it's too much. So yeah, I like this where this is. For our 13th, our Psychic Veil, you can weave a veil of psionic static to mask your physical appearance. As an action, you can magically become invisible, along with anything you're wearing or carrying for 10 minutes. This invisibility ends if you make an attack, or if you force a creature to make a saving throw. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, minimum of once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So, this is cool as fuck. You're just manifesting an illusion of sorts, and you're becoming invisible for 10 minutes. That's not bad. The one thing I feel like could be improved with this is, instead of it being negated to recuperating on a long rest, I'd like to see this change to maybe a short rest, because I feel like by 13 you're probably, like, it would make more sense that you're going to be able to take be more powerful in a way. And this is only a 10-minute invisibility as compared to just a spell invisibility that lasts an hour. But granted, you have to use a spell slot for that, so this you're just using a minimum of your intelligence modifier. So I mean, like, it's cool, but I would like to see it regain on a short rest. I think if they just regained it on a short rest, all of a sudden this would become pretty badass, and it'll open up for the player to feel like they can more use this more often, as opposed to waiting around and trying to decide when would be best to use this. But 15 minutes of invisibility regardless is still quite a bit, especially since we don't need to invest a spell slot into it, or we don't even have spells with this, but hey. And now, for the cap of this archetype, Rend Mind. You can sweep your Psychic Blade directly through a creature's mind. As an action, while you have at least one Psychic Blade manifested, you can force a creature you can see within 30 feet to make an intelligence saving throw. The DC equals 10, plus your proficiency bonus, plus your intelligence modifier. So keep that in mind, is that this, as opposed to your Terrifying Blade, is where it's an 8 plus your proficiency plus intelligence, you're going to gain a +2 to this. So, say by, 20th level proficiency +6, intelligence +5, that's 21. There's a 21 DC to this. That's not bad. If you're hidden from the target, it has disadvantage on a save. On a failed save, the target takes 12d6 psychic damage and is stunned until the start of your next turn. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage and isn't stunned. One of your psychic blades vanishes after using this feature. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, minimum of once, and you regain all expended uses on a long rest. So, this is a really cool ability. It combines aspects of the monk, it combines aspects of your sneak attack, but it can be abused. So, how can we abuse the shit out of this? I have to ask myself. So, this is only 17th level. At 17th level, we get 96 worth of sneak attack, I believe. Yeah, so 96, that's not bad. That's really not bad. What do we get here? We get elusiveness? Okay, yeah. So, let's say we go ahead and bring the rogue up to 18. We gain our elusiveness, we gain our Rend Mind, and then we take a 2-level dip into our fighter and we have action surge. So, this isn't limited to your turn usage. This isn't limited to your sneak attack for that turn. This is just something that you can do. So, if you were to go ahead, Rend Mind, and then action surge, you can Rend Mind again. On the same target, on a different target. In that sense, it's very powerful, because that's 24d6, which is 24 times 6 is 144 damage. That's a lot. That's a lot of fucking potential damage. That can one-shot a CR-17 Death Knight, for example, off the top of my head. That's a lot of damage. That is a lot of baseline damage that with just a 2-level multi-class dip you can get up to. The one thing that is limiting about this, though, is that it can't crit. It can never ever crit. It's a spell effect. They either roll to they roll to save. If they fail, they take the 12d6. If they save, they take half of the damage that's rolled. And Yeah, I like the idea that it's stunned, but I think the one way that we could benefit the most from this to abuse it is because it doesn't take up our sneak attack. The best way is again to go up to Rogue 18, Fighter 2, and then we go ahead and we get this. Let's say the stun works. They take the 12d6 psychic damage, and then we action surge. And because they're stunned, we're gonna have advantage on the attack with our next our next attack. And that would mean, effectively, we can use our sneak attack, because we didn't use our sneak attack for that round. So, that's, potentially, because we're only 18th or 17th level, that's 96 that can possibly crit. And say we go Elf, and we gain Elven Accuracy, we can gain Super Advantage, and we can reroll one of those dice. There's a great chance that you're going to crit. So effectively, you could go from a 12d6, stun them, action surge, sneak attack, get a crit, and then all of a sudden, that's 18d6 effectively. So you're effectively within one round of combat doing 30d6 damage, if everything goes well. That's insane. That is a lot of damage. That's gonna kill a lot of things. And, yeah. So, I'm having a hard time deciding whether this should be limited. Not that I'm going to decide this. Yes, Chris, listen to me. I think that this... I love it. I love it so much, and I don't want to see it change too much. Maybe if they made it so that you had to use your sneak attack for that round. Because I don't know of anything that can get it to a possibly 30d6 worth of damage within one round of combat with a 2-level dip into a fighter. Like, there's a lot of ifs in there, but it's still a potential that you're, as a dungeon master, I have to fucking consider that all of a sudden 30, holy shit, that's a lot of damage. Anyways, yeah, so that ain't worth it. I don't know. So I feel like maybe if this was based off on your sneak attack as well for the round, maybe they could bump it up even a little bit more, because technically 12d6, our sneak attack at the moment is 96, so that's only 3d6 higher. So, and this is based off on the character like passing or failing their save. We do gain a nice advantage here, where if we're hidden, they have disadvantage on the save. I also, actually, that reminds me, this is also something that I could see being used purely just to burn legendary resistances, which I like that as well, which is why I also like the fighter mix in there, because maybe it's not like, maybe you're fighting, I don't know, I don't want to say a Trask, but something that has a lot of legendary resistances, Vecna or something, and you're trying to just burn through all of them. And I mean, technically, it doesn't say that you're spotted after this. You're technically still hidden. You're still hiding away. So I would rule it that you can, if you do action surge, like both of the Rend mines on that turn would effectively be at a disadvantage for the target's save, because it doesn't say that the target is aware of where you are all of a sudden. Again, that wouldn't really make sense, because this is just a spell, and if you're at like a 36 in stealth, you're not going to be found from that. It doesn't. There's no verbal. There's no somatic. There's no components besides the component will be your blade. Yeah, this has an insane amount of potential, and I love this. And this is probably this is my favorite roguish archetype now, because it's awesome. Psionics are fucking dope, and God, I really want to know what you people think. I really want to know what you guys think. Because I don't know how to improve this ability. I want to improve it, but limited it, because I feel like 12d6, especially at level 20 rogue, this is mostly going to be used for stunning and getting out those legendary resistances. That's how I see this. I don't see this purely as like a damaging mechanic, because it, like, effectively at a level 20 rogue, that's 10d6 plus, say, a short sword, that's 11d6. That's 1d6 higher than what we're doing here. Like, it's nice. It's a nice stun, but it's effectively not that much more damage as compared to what we were already doing. So, and it can't crit ever. That's the other big issue that I have with this. This cannot crit, and I don't know how they would work it in so that it could crit. It would be cool if it could. I don't know. So I'm confused with this. I would like to see it improved a little bit, because we're keep it the way it is. I have no idea. I'm very conflicted. I'm conflicted. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. I don't think that there's much more to go over. Overall, this roguish archetype is amazing. If you get the opportunity to play it, go for it. I would say invest yourself up to at least Rogue 17, get that Rend Mind ability, and then take a level 3 dip into Fighter, or a level 2 dip into Fighter, and then you gain an Action Surge. Maybe you can go ahead and take like the Rune Knight even. That would be a good one to pair off of this. And then, yeah, you get a lot of little benefits from just that 2 to 3 level dip with a Fighter in this. Or just bring it up all the way to 20, because then you get quite a few cool Rogue level abilities. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Please consider liking, commenting, subscribing. Let me know what you think about this archetype. I think it's amazing. I think people are going to love this one. And the Rend Mind really, I think it's close to where it needs to be. But I think it's just missing a little something here. But yeah, thank you again. And have a wonderful day.